Ladies and gentlemen, Norman Long.
Well, I'm going to start with the most appropriate song I can think of for today. It's a song called The Victory Ball. Now, we've set the world to rights again and victory in our laps. We've turned up all the lights again and polished off the Japs. We'll have a jubilation, a beano and a spree, with all the allied nations celebrating victory. High and low, great and small, we'll all be dancing at the victory ball. All be making whoopee, trying to relax, never caring tuppence for your income tax. Teddy Brown is coming with an act you will admire. You do an acrobatic stunt dancing on a wire. And Vera Lynn will want to set the world on fire on the night of the victory ball. High and low, great and small, we'll all be dancing at the victory ball, shouting out a chorus, jigging up and down, Richard Tauber singing Knees Up Mother Brown. BBC announcers, though it's rather strange, will all be coming, so they're trying to arrange for dear old Stuart Hibbard to say blimey for a change on the night of the victory ball. High and low, great and small, we'll all be dancing at the victory ball, cutting silly capers, kicking up their heels, two-tongue Tessie carrying Catherine Wheels. Webster Booth is coming. He'll be there somehow. He's got another partner and it's going to be a wow, because he and Mrs. Mop are singing Can I Do You Now on the night of the victory ball. High and low, great and small, we'll all be dancing at the victory ball, singing Rule Britannia, shouting Hooray, won't go home till morning till the break of day. Dear old Winston Churchill, looking frightfully fit, with the biggest and the fattest cigar he's ever lit, and treating Lady Astor to a double gin and it. High and low, great and small, we'll all be dancing at the victory ball. All be going crackers, having such a do. Dear old Tommy Hanley's going to be there too. Then Commander Campbell, like an ocean breeze, will dance the hula hula with his skirts up to his knees. And dear old Nellie Wallace will do a striptease on the night of the victory ball. Now, there's just two little stories I've got for you. One is about a couple who got married and they went away for the honeymoon. And on the first morning back, the husband sidled out of bed very, very quietly in the morning, slipped down to the kitchen, got a very delightful breakfast ready for his wife, and took it upstairs, all beautifully set up in the tray, just as good as you get in any beautiful hotel. A really delightful breakfast it was. So he watched her very closely eating this breakfast. And after he said to her, he said, well, dear, he said, have you enjoyed your breakfast? She said, yes, dear, very much indeed, thank you very much. So he said, well, was it all right? Was it beautifully cooked? She said, it was delightful, dear. She said, I never had such a delightful breakfast. He said, well, I didn't forget anything, everything on the tray, wasn't it, dear? She said, absolutely perfect. She said, I couldn't have had it better. He said, it was absolutely all right. But she said, yes, I've never had such a delightful breakfast. So he said, well, just make a note. That's how I want my breakfast served from now on. Here's one about a fellow who applied to the local council for a job as a dustman. So he went into the office and the clerk said, right, he said, we can give you a job as a dustman. He said, just sign this form. And so the fellow says, oh, he said, I can't do that. He said, well, why can't you do it? He said, well, I can't read or write. Oh, well, the clerk said, you won't be any good to us as a dustman if you can't read or write. He said, well, why? He said, do I have to be able to read or write to collect muck? The clerk said, well, he said, you've got to sort of fill in daily returns about the streets that you've been down and the houses you've visited and all that sort of thing. So if anybody's no good, he said, I can't take the job. So he lost it. Well, it just so happened that he went away and got a hawker's license, got a pal of his to lend him a barrow and borrowed a few quid and started hawking vegetables down the streets. Well, he did very well at this, and then very soon he saved enough to take a small shop. And he went on with the business, just buying and selling for cash. And this led to another shop, and eventually he saved about a couple of £1,000. So a pal of his said to me, he said, you don't want to have a couple of £1,000 lying about in notes. He said, you want to put it in the bank. So he went along to the bank manager and he said, I've saved a couple of £1,000 and I want to put it in the old iron tank. You see? So bank manager says, well, he said, he said, that's all right, we're going to receive it. He said, just sign this form. So the fellow said, well, I can't. He said, I can't sign a form. He said, well, why can't you sign a form? He said, well, I can't read or write. So the bank manager said, do you mean to say that you saved a couple of £1,000 and you can't even read or write? He says, yes, that's right. So the bank manager said, well, he said, do you realise what you might have been if you could have been able to read or write? He says, yes, a blinking dustman. Well, now, I'm very tired this morning. Strange. And I'm going to ask you to do a bit of work now, and I'm going to ask you to join me in a little chorus. You haven't long to learn it, but just do the best you can. It's a very nice little song. The privilege of the Britisher has always been to grumble. He's not afraid to speak his mind or let his tummy rumble. It's not that he's a nark. He won't bite while he can bark. So let's have a darn good grouse, boys. Letting off some steam will do us good. Let's tell the government, the foreman and the boss, we don't want their Christmas pud. No one takes the slightest notice of what we say, it's true. So let's have a darn good grouse, boys, but don't stop working while we do. The wallop that we drink today simply is atrocious. The price goes up, the strength goes down, it's wicked, it's ferocious. Bring back the molten hops. We can't win a peace on slops. So let's have a darn good grouse, boys. Letting off the steam will do us good. Let's tell the government, the foreman and the boss, we don't want their Christmas pud. No one takes the slightest notice of what we say, it's true. Let's have a darn good grouse, boys, but don't stop working while we do. Now see how you can do it. I know you haven't had long to learn it in, but just sigh one chorus. So let's have a darn good grouse, boys, letting off the steam will do us good. Let's tell the government, the foreman and the boss, we don't want